The brand new breakthroughs, the latest inventions, and the newest models. It's all we can think about nowadays. For example, the revolutionary, non-stick Gotham steel frying pan. But wait, there's more. The latest breakthrough in cleaning technology, the Swiffer wet jet. And last, but certainly not least, a breakthrough that changed the course of human history. Flex tape. Just look at the arrogance of this man. But seriously, is this what we consider to be a breakthrough now? Has our scope for future progress been limited to OxyClean's new whitening formula? This is the problem we face today. We've forgotten what it truly means to achieve a breakthrough. And whether it be a personal one or one that affects mankind as a whole, we've stopped making strides in bounds like we used to before. The technological jump from using the Pony Express to being able to call someone across the world in an instant was a breakthrough, not the creation of the easy cracker. So let's dive right into what exactly is wrong with our definition of a breakthrough. Because right now, we think in terms of minor improvements, simply making things a little bit better as fast as we can. And the best example of this is, of course, Apple, with its strict annual product release schedule. If you think about it, the initial touchscreen technology was pretty revolutionary. But after that, the changes between each iPhone have been pretty minor. In fact, Apple hasn't always made the best decision when doing these things to meet the deadline. In the transition from the iPhone 6 to the iPhone 7, the world experienced the tragic loss of the headphone jack. Apple took away our cords and gave us dongles for the sake of something new. When we talk about breakthroughs, we should mean improvements, not taking steps backwards. But there are a number of other cases where the pressure to meet a deadline has resulted in setbacks. This is the case in the foldable phone. The race to become the first foldable phone has resulted in many failed attempts by many different companies. Samsung had to delay the release of their $2,000 phone after reviewers quickly found that the screen was easily broken. Is it worth it to put developers under so much stress to meet a deadline just to create a defective product? We are sacrificing real breakthroughs for deadlines, and it's limiting our progress. But this skewed definition of what a breakthrough is hasn't just caused a deficiency in product quality. It's also had a profound effect on the innovators themselves. As soon as we start school, chants like give 110%, you can do anything if you try hard enough, and try again, are engraved into our brains. Being a workaholic is a trait we tend to praise, and while it seems harmless on the surface, when hard work is taken to the extreme, they can have devastating consequences. Work stress is just the first symptom, and sleep deprivation is another side effect. But take this work ethic to the next level, and you have Karoshi, which is a horrendous phenomenon taking place across the world today. Karoshi is a Japanese term that literally translates to overwork death. Just in the last 2 years, about 4,000 work-related suicides were reported in Japan. And that's not even taking into account the immense number of suicides in other countries, or the amount of people that died because their bodies couldn't take the stress that they were handling. People like Miwasato, who after working 159 hours of overtime, died of a heart attack in 2013. In 2015, Matsuri Takahashi worked 100 hours of overtime in a single month, which caused her to take her own life. It's clear. This culture of constant improvement through constant effort is extremely detrimental, and not just in Japan, but across the world. And the first step we need to take in order to fix this is to rebuild our perception of what a breakthrough is. We need to stop settling for minor improvements. Instead, let's think of breakthroughs as something that changes the way we think, that revolutionizes our entire thought process. Think about the great breakthroughs of the past, like the discovery of gravity by Sir Isaac Newton, or even the creation of the airplane by the Wright Brothers. These inventions and discoveries weren't just improvements made by the deadline. They were things that changed the course of human history. But breakthroughs don't have to alter the fate of humanity. They can be personal breakthroughs as well, when they revolutionize the way you lead your personal life. And I know it sounds kind of weird coming from a 16-year-old, but I've also experienced a personal breakthrough, just not in the way you'd expect. And I'd first like you to meet Neha Ganjutanna, the most amazing human being I have ever had the privilege of knowing. And while our relationship was quite distant on the family tree, I affectionately called her Puki Didi, and Didi means older sister in Hindi. And to say Puki Didi was a gem of a person was to say the least. Because when she was diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma, or kidney cancer, in January of 2015, she didn't even flinch. And she kept fighting till the end, October 23rd of 2016. But in the 2 months leading up to that moment, Puki Didi took complete control of her life. She made sure she went to every doctor's appointment and tried to maintain her health as best she could. She began to write about her experiences, and her writings have been compiled into a book, Body Betrayed Beauty, which I highly encourage everyone to go read when it's released this January. And as she had created a successful career as a mechanical engineer, the most amazing thing was to see her continue working in her sickness. And despite the fact that she had all these things to juggle, she continued to be actively involved in her family life. She even threw a huge birthday party for her daughter's 3rd birthday just months before she passed. And on her last day, my mom went to go visit her in the hospital. And what she told me will stay with me for the rest of my life. She said that Puki Didi was sitting upright in her bed, and she had done her makeup as she had done every single day before. And she was smiling. She was smiling till the end. Now, you might be wondering how her story is related to my personal breakthrough. I mean, I wasn't the parent that lost a child, the husband that lost a wife, the brother that lost a sister, or even the daughter that lost a mother. But in her fight between life and death, I became a student and she my teacher, who taught me life's most important lessons, to take every opportunity and cherish every second of every day. By observing Puki Didi, by hearing about her, and by listening to her, I came to this personal breakthrough. I mean, I wouldn't be here without her, because when I first received an email about auditioning for a TED Talk, I would have never imagined that I would have the guts to stand in front of an audience and give a TEDx speech. But Neha, Puki Didi, taught me to take every moment, take every opportunity, and just run with it. And so here I am today. But the most important thing I want to point out about all this is how I came to this breakthrough, simply by observing. And this is how all the major breakthroughs of the past were achieved. Isaac Newton observed an apple falling from a tree, and he discovered gravity. The Wright Brothers observed a bird's wings to create the wings of their airplane. And Percy Shaw created street reflectors after taking a picture of his cat and observing how the light reflected in its eyes. The fact of the matter is that these breakthroughs didn't pop out of thin air. They were extrapolated from what existed right before our eyes. And this is what we must do. And you'll hear tons of other speeches about the benefits of meditation. While it does have medical benefits and it does stir the creative mind, I wouldn't spend 10 minutes talking to you about how breakthroughs don't pop out of nowhere and then tell you to look within your soul. But what I am asking you to do is open eye meditation. Instead of closing your eyes and concentrating inward, open them and concentrate outward. Observe the people around you. Observe how they interact with each other. Observe the objects in front of you and how they are in relation to each other. Observe and understand everything you see, and then extrapolate your breakthrough from it. Like my dad always says, if you have to put immense pressure on yourself to do something or make something, either you need a break or you need laxatives. Because if you just sit there and push, nothing's gonna come out. And you'll probably end up passing out. So I think we can all agree that in order to continue making meaningful and real breakthroughs, all we have to do is bookie. First, put your feet up and relax. Take a break from all that pushing. And then you can start observing the things around you. Next, understand what you observe. Analyze the things that you're seeing and start to extrapolate a breakthrough from it. This understanding will give you the key, that aha moment that makes you want to do something. And this key will finally ignite your breakthrough. So for the sake of ourselves and for humanity as a whole, let's all pledge to bookie. Thank you.